What's going on, guys? This is Chase fan number 9 here, and it's time for our first paint scheme preview series video of the 2020 NASCAR season. I know lots of you people, especially those who have joined my channel ever since last year, have been waiting for this moment. Well, we're back and I'm ready to get back on it. Now, for those who are new to my channel, the paint scheme preview series videos are basically videos where we take a look at the paint schemes for the upcoming race or races, depending on what races are being held on the weekends, and I give my thoughts and opinions on them. And there'll be times throughout the season where we're gonna see the same paint schemes, and I'll usually skip over that, but yeah, that's how the series runs. And you're more than welcome to let me know which one's your favorite paint schemes down below in the comments section, and I'll gladly take a look at the comments that you guys leave behind. Now, I know some people's comments, thoughts and opinions, I should say, will be different, but hey, it's your opinions, not mine. But I'm not trying to rip on anyone, but that's how it goes. So, for this video, or should I say our first video of the 2020 NASCAR season, is we'll be taking a look at the paint schemes for Sunday's race at Daytona, the Busch Clash. Yep, that's right. And keep in mind, folks, I'll be doing paint schemes for also the exhibition races like the Clash and the All-Star Open and All-Star Race. So yeah. And also for those who are new to the channel, I'll also be taking a look at the paint schemes for the Truck and Xfinity Series races as well. So yeah. But anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say. So without further ado, let's get into the video, shall we? So for this year, we're going to be trying something a little bit different. This time we're going to be doing full screen just like this. Because last season, I used to scroll down and they would have the description. Well, I kind of have a mindset of all the paint schemes already. I've already seen the gallery, but it's time for me to give my thoughts and opinions on them. So, anyways, that's pretty much it. So, without further ado, let's get into the video, shall we? Now, first up, on Wednesday when they first released the paint schemes, there was a picture here showing Jimmie Johnson. Now they have Kevin Harvick's scheme. And also keep in mind this picture right here of Kevin Harvick and the one I have of Jimmie Johnson's that they released on Wednesday. Those are going to be the thumbnails for the videos, just to let you know. But anyways, that's pretty much it. And also these videos will be long too, so yeah. But anyways, without further ado, let's get on it, shall we? So first paint scheme we have up is Kurt Busch in the #1 Monster Energy Ford. When I first saw this paint scheme be run on, or debut, I should say, on Kurt Busch's car back when he was with Stewart-Haas, I actually liked it. My first impression is that I just love the black and the green, considering that's what the color the Monster Energy cans are, and it actually looked pretty good. It took him, however, 3 years to win with this paint scheme. He won in this paint scheme at Bristol back in 2018, the fall race, and then last season he won at Kentucky in the same paint scheme as well. And I'm glad Kurt Busch is bringing back Monster Energy to the team because I tell you, it's a paint scheme worth running. I don't have any of his Monster Energy paint schemes just yet, but one day I will. But for anyone who hasn't gotten this diecast or a diecast of this car yet, I suggest that you do because it's worth getting. So yeah. But overall, paint scheme, I love how it's not so crazy and all that. So yeah, it looks pretty good. I love it, because like I said, I like how it's classic and not crazy. So yeah, that's what I think about this paint scheme. I know some people may not like it, but that's just my opinion. Anyways, next paint scheme. Oh, and before I continue, I forgot to mention that since the Clash has only 18 cars, this gallery will be featuring all of the paint schemes for all the paint schemes for the drivers participating in the Clash. So yeah. But anyways, here is Brad Keselowski's number 2 money line paint scheme. First of all, I just want to say it's about time Brad Keselowski ran this paint scheme, because I've been waiting for, well, ever since Moneyline debuted with Penske last year on Blaney's car. Ever since then, I've been waiting for Moneyline to debut on Brad Keselowski's car, regardless if it was a points or non-points race. But lo and behold, he is going to do it. And regardless if it's on the 212 or 22 or on Austin Cindric's car, I got you. It's a cool paint scheme no matter what. And I do have a Ryan Blaney moneyline paint scheme. It still looks good. So yeah, Mm, my when I first saw this paint scheme debut at Blaney, it was pretty cool. I do like the green. I did like also the white as well. And now, and I also like how they painted the wheels white as well. So yeah, so that was my first impressions on the car. Unfortunately, it hasn't. Well, aside from Austin Cindric, who won at Watkins Glen last year in the same paint scheme, I want to see either Keselowski, Logano, or Blaney winning this paint scheme, regardless of what track it is. So yeah, so if Keselowski, I mean, I know he's won it before, but if he won this paint scheme, good for him. I don't hate him. He's a good driver. I respect him a lot. So yeah, but he's not my top favorite though. But I do like his paint scheme. So yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say about this. If I had to rate this paint scheme, I would give it a 10/10. So yeah, that's how I feel. Next up, we have Austin Dillon. I see he's running the Court paint scheme. I say, Austin Dillon, you chose a really interesting paint scheme for this Sunday. Now, what do I think about it? It's a pretty cool paint scheme. I feel like I see some improvements here with the blue here wrapping around the green and the dark blue. And also there's some blue here. And keep in mind, not only did he run it, but when Tyler Reddick was in the 31 last year, for or the Daytona 500. He also ran this paint scheme too, so it looked good on both cars. So yeah, but that's pretty much all I have to say. I do like how it's dark blue here on the back as well, and I like how they had additional sponsors as well. So yeah, I have to give them credit for not being way too crazy, unlike some paint schemes. So yeah, so and for I'm like, come on. It's impossible to hate Austin Dillon, but love his paint schemes. Am I right? So yeah. Next up, we have Kevin Harvick's number 4 hashtag pit for Busch Ford Mustang. And what, I saw Eric Estep's video yesterday for those what is it, the paint schemes for 2020 altogether, and he noticed that there are lots of cars with flames on them, and I gotta tell you, I do like some of them, including this one. Now, for this paint scheme in general, I do like the flame design here on the side. I love how it's not all crazy, unlike some teams, but yeah, I do like how the number 4 is painted in blue. I know some people may not like the flame design, but I think it looks pretty cool. And as you can see, they're showcasing some of their products here along with it. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. It'd be cool if Harvick won in this paint scheme. Like, can you imagine that? So yeah, and also forgot to mention that l- last year in the clash we saw the single file cringe train, as some people dub it as. Well, with the new plate package, I expect the racing to be more crazy this year. And also, the Chevrolets have flat noses as well, so that will play in the favor on Sunday. So yeah. But anyways, back to the paint scheme. Yeah, this has to be one of one of my top favorite Busch paint schemes that Harvick has ran. It's not my number one favorite, but it's up there. I would rank it like probably number three, I guess. So yeah, but that's all I have to say about it. And also and keep in mind the paint scheme matches the can too. So yeah, and also that paint scheme that Harvick ran in the Daytona 500 last year, that car to can scheme, I like that one too. So yeah. Next up, Ryan Newman's number 6 Cook Industries Ford Mustang. Now, when I saw Eric Estep's video, he was right. He did like the black triangle, but I understand why he didn't like it. So, but I'm not trying to bash him, but I'll respect his opinion. I'll leave it at that. But I know it's got white, blue, and black all over it. I do like how the blue, there's an outline on the number 6 here, so yeah. I mean, I don't mind it really. But I do like how there's new sponsors coming into NASCAR. So yeah, because if you look at it, but hey, at least it's not that crazy. It's a decent paint scheme, but it's not one of my top favorite paint schemes. So yeah, so that's how I just feel about looking at this paint scheme. If you guys want to like it all you want, that's fine. If you want to hate it all you want, that's fine with me. I'm not gonna bother saying, but yeah, it's a pretty cool paint scheme, or I mean, decent paint scheme. So yeah. But anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say about Newman's paint scheme. Next up, Chase Elliott driving the number 9 Mountain Dew Zero Sugar Chevrolet Camaro. Now, I want to say something. I did try the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar, and it has a pretty interesting taste, and I can tell it has no sugar in it. But anyways, for the paint scheme, I actually like this. I know Chase Elliott has ran different Mountain Dew paint schemes over the last few years or so, but this one, I don't think it's that close to topping the cake. I know he ran the United States car and that one paint scheme that he won in at Kansas 2 years ago, but this one, I mean, I like it, but I don't think it tops the cake just yet. I think actually, you know what? I think this one should top the cake because just because of its looks and all that. I do like the black and the green and the number. I'm not sure really about the color of the car number, but actually, you know what? I think white will do because any other color would probably won't match. So yeah. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much all to say. And I do like the green stripe detail here on the bottom, and I know it's on the other side too. So yeah. But that's pretty much all I have to say is for it. And you know what they should do? They should make some adjustments to these paint scheme previews for in the future. So yeah, but it's a good Mountain Dew paint scheme. So yeah. But anyways, that's pretty much all. And I also do like the green outline too. I always love it when they outline numbers. So yeah. Next up, we have Eric Almirola's Pure Farmland Ford Mustang. Now he ran a similar paint scheme to this in the Clash last year, and it was an okay paint scheme, but it wasn't one of my favorites. But love how they like to run different pace schemes in the Clash. Well, for all the drivers really, but I'm not really sure about this one. I I'm not sure really about the whole white, blue, and green, but I understand they're trying to go with the colors of the sponsor. But yeah, yeah. I tell you, I always find these paint schemes to be really interesting sometimes. But yeah, I'm not really sure about the blue here, but at least it's not doesn't have very crazy details to it. Um, the green, it's more of like an eco green by the looks of it. So yeah, and also forgot to mention that Austin Dillon's paint scheme also has a sponsor rig up on it. I guess it's on the hood. I guess. Yeah, it's the pure farmland Ford. I was just looking at my phone just to be sure if I was correct. But here, yeah. So that's pretty much all I have to say. It's not one of my top favorites, but I like how they're not going crazy like some teams. So yeah. So next up we have Denny Hamlin in the number 11 FedEx Express Toyota. First off, I just want to say when Denny Hamlin showcased this paint scheme before the beginning of last season, um, I I thought to myself, what do I think about it? And after a while, I was like, you know what? I'm actually glad they made some improvements because I know some people were a big fan of Denny Hamlin's black paint schemes that went with whatever branch of FedEx that was running, whether if it was the red, the purple, the orange, or the green, minus the sports clips. But this one has to be a good improvement. And even though, however, that they changed the even though the paint scheme remains the same, you know how it says express here, they will like change the FedEx branch like to either ground, office, or freight, and I like how they kept it that way. But paint scheme overall, I actually like it, and yeah, it's a pretty good paint scheme. Yeah, I do miss his black paint schemes, but I think this is a improvement over the last over those. So yeah. Next up, Ryan Blaney is going to be running the number 12 Peak Menards Ford Mustang, and the first time I saw Peak on a Menards paint scheme was Paul Menard when he was driving for RCR and he had Peak sponsorship. Well, even when he went to the Wood Brothers, he was still sponsored by Peak, and from that paint scheme to Ryan Blaney's, they actually look pretty good. I do like the Peak paint schemes, even for Clint Boyer as well. I always found them to be pretty interesting just because of the blue color with the yellow. I know some people may not like the color combination, but I think it looks really good. And the black car number fits as well, and I do like how there's an outline as well. I mean, they could have done more to outline this to make it more detailed, but unlike the front here, the black stripe you see on the bottom, I think it suits it well. And also the yellow tires are pretty good. And this little detail here with the orange and red, I like it too. And I love how the Menards thing lo is underlined as well. So yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say. I do like it. Can't wait to see what Blaney does. If he wins in this paint scene, that would be awesome. I want to see the Pete car get a win. So yeah. Next up, Clint Boyer in the number 14 Mobile One Ford Mustang. You know, this is a pretty interesting one. I like how it's no longer the white. Um, Oops, accidentally hit the laptop. You know, at first, the white paint scheme wasn't really my favorite. I'm actually glad they changed it up from when they showed it last year, especially with this black with the red stripe. Yeah, I'm glad they changed it up because I just wasn't really a big fan of the white, really. But in reality, for the paint scheme, because like I said, I like this improvement. I do like the red flame detail along with the red number and the blue that outlines the number as well. I do like it. I mean, it's not my top favorite Boyer paint scheme, but I just like it. So yeah, and that's pretty much all I have to say about that one. Now, for Kyle Busch's paint scheme, for those who have not seen already, Kyle Busch, yes, he's running the classic M&M's paint scheme that he's ran ever since the beginning of his career at Gibbs, but there's a slight change to it. There's actually a picture of the yellow M&M on the opposite side holding the championship trophy on the opposite side. Because keep in mind, it was Kyle Busch's second Cup championship. So yeah, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. So that's the only thing about this paint scheme that I only have to say about it. So yeah. Next up, Martin Truex Jr. running one of my favorite MTJ paint schemes from his Joe Gibbs tenure, the Sirius XM Toyota Camry. This is the same paint scheme that he won in at Dover last year, and I actually have a diecast of it, and it looks really good. I can't wait to get the diecast for this paint scheme for this year, and I gotta tell you, it's gonna look pretty good. I'll tell you that. I do see some slight bit of improvement. I see some marks here. I guess that's like for like the volumes when there's music and the volume goes up and down. I think that's what that detail is. So yeah, I like it. I do like the blue, the white number, and also the white detail here because it makes it look pretty good. I do like the Bass Pro Shop thing here as well. Yo, I'll leave. Leave that quarter panel empty. So yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to say about this. If Truex, I hope he wins a race in this paint scheme this year, cause I don't see why he wouldn't. So yeah, Erik Jones running the number 20 Sports Clips paint scheme. Um, just we all know Denny Hamlin's ran this paint scheme, but the 20 he sure has, and I gotta tell you, the Sports Clips paint schemes have been pretty interesting over the year, regardless if it was on Hamlin's or Jones's cars. And I got to the one for Jones's car. It's pretty interesting. I do like the detail on the side here. I know they could have added more here on the top, but I like how it is because I don't, like I said, don't want it to be too crazy. It'd been better if they painted the rims white, but yeah, who cares about that? I do like the black doesn't really bother me that much. I do like how they add all the contingency sponsors here as well, because you don't want to leave those out. So yeah. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Next up, Joey Logano running the classic number 22 paint scheme, shell pencil paint scheme that is. And when I first saw this paint scheme back when I first started watching NASCAR, it was a pretty interesting paint scheme to see. May not like Logano, but the paint scheme, come on, it's shell Pennzoil, so I don't see why no one would like it, but it was pretty interesting, but it's not really my top favorite, so I do like the red wheels as well, and that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I do like his other Pennzoil paint scheme, that all yellow one that he won in at Vegas last year. So yeah, so this is just your classic Shell Pennzoil paint scheme. So that's pretty much all I have to say. I don't have anything else really. Next up, William Byron in the number 24 Liberty University paint scheme. I gotta tell you, the Liberty University paint scheme has been a pretty interesting one. I know some people are saying, oh, he's just getting sponsorship from them just because he goes to that college. To be honest, yes, but it's a eye catcher for sure, depending on how you see it. Um, just like the Exalted card, this one also has the flames as well, which I do like. I don't have any of his Liberty University paint schemes yet, aside from on the Cup side of things. I do have his Xfinity one, but on the Cup side of things, I don't. I need to keep a mental note to myself to buy one. But overall, I do like it. It'd been cool if they added some like light blue flames here, but I wouldn't be really sure about that. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this one. I do guarantee that he will win a race this year in the Cup. So yeah. Next up, Kyle Larson, the Elk Grove kid, driving the number 42 Advent Health Chevrolet. He and Ross Chastain are both going to run this paint scheme. Chastain's going to run in the 500. I believe Larson, no, I think he's going to run the Credit One scheme next Sunday in the 500. But I gotta tell you, this is the same one that sponsored both his teammate Kurt Busch and McMurray, well, for the Clash only. And I gotta tell you, this has to be a pretty cool paint scheme. Oh, and yeah, I remember he won in this paint scheme in the All-Star race, so there's another one. But I gotta tell you, this is a pretty cool paint scheme. I do like all how it's multicolor with the green, the blue, the light blue, and the yellow. There's dark green and eco green, as I would call it. So yeah, if I were to if it kind of looks like a combination of both Advent Health, McDonald's, and Credit One Bank, but that's just from off my head. But it's a pretty cool paint scheme. It's a eye catcher for sure. I like how it has the McDonald's and Credit One Bank sponsorship on the sides here. And also, I've seen Chastain's painting. It's the same thing, and that one looks pretty good. But I'll have to wait till next weekend to do it. So, yeah. But overall, it's a good looking paint scheme. This has to be one of my top favorite Kyle Larson paint schemes. Will it be number one eventually? One day, but because currently, right now, my favorite Larson paint scheme are those McDonald's paint schemes. So, yeah. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this paint scheme. I do hope Larson brings this car home in one piece on Sunday, and we're all good. If he can get a win at Daytona in the Clash, that would be awesome too. Next up, oh boy, Sunday is gonna kick off Jimmie Johnson's final season in NASCAR. And I gotta tell you, his Allied paint scheme is a improvement over last year. And how is it an improvement? With this giant A here on the back. Now I know some people haven't been too fond of Jimmie Johnson running a black car, especially from 2018. Yeah, that 2018 Lowe's for Pros paint scheme wasn't really my top favorite paint scheme. It was one of my least favorite. When Ally came on last year, I'm like, okay, this is better, especially with the purple. I, but now that this is his final season, looks like he decided to improve it a little bit more. And I gotta tell you, I do love the purple here on the car. And like I said, this is a huge improvement right here. The A here for Ally. And I do love how they're keeping the yellow number too, so that's pretty good. Um, so yeah. It's a pretty cool paint scheme. I'm definitely getting a die cast of this car for sure. Because come on, it's Jimmie Johnson's last season. There's no way I'm missing out on this one. So yeah, I like it. Um, I hope Jimmie Johnson can win the Clash without wrecking the field. So if he can do that on Sunday, man, that would be a huge accomplishment for him. And also, I heard the weather. Well, according to the weather, it looks like the weather's going to be good for both tomorrow and Sunday. So yeah, we're gonna have some sunshine for once. Thank God. But anyways, yeah. So go Johnson, go get him. And I believe this is the last paint scheme in this gallery. It's none other than Alex Bowman in the number 88 Valvoline Chevrolet. And I gotta tell you that I've always been a fan of the Valvoline paint scheme, especially when Dale Jr. first ran it as a throwback at Darlington back in 2015. Ever since then, well, ever since 2018 up until now, to this day, I'm still a fan of this paint scheme. Besides, the colors fit well with it. I do like the white, red, and blue, different shades of blue, like the light blue, the dark blue, and the much darker blue. I tell you, it fits it pretty well. Um, I don't have any of Alex's Valvoline paint schemes yet. I do have the Dale Jr. one, but for Alex Bowman, I don't. So, yeah. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting paint scheme nonetheless. So, yeah. Now, I do like how the number is slightly outlined by bits of the red, and there's like a black, like a shadow here. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting, but I do like how they're outlining it nonetheless. So, yeah. Now, I do hope Bowman gets a win in this paint scheme because I don't see why he shouldn't. He is running this in other races other than the Clash, and I'm well aware that he got some new sponsors to fill in the gap for since Nationwide left. So yeah, I expect Bowman to do well and win in those paint schemes. So yeah, and I guess that's pretty much it. So guys, that will do it for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. This has been Chase fan number 9 here. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Make sure to hit the bell down below to get notifications for all my videos. And make sure to hit that like button. And with that, I'll see you guys on my next video. Until then, have a good one. Actually, you know what? I'll see you tomorrow for the ARCA race. So with that, that will do it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow and Sunday. Have a good one. Bye, everyone.